verge of collapse. About 700,000 workers losing their jobs each month. The worst recession of our lifetimes, threatening to become another Great Depression. That's what was happening just 7 months ago. That's why we took bold, swift action. That's why we passed an unprecedented Recovery Act. And we did it without the usual Washington earmarks and pork barrel spending. And Ohio, it is working. Times are still tough. Times are still tough, I know that, but we have given 95% of America's working families a tax cut. 4.5 million families in Ohio, including here in Cincinnati. A promise we made during the campaign, a promise I kept as President of the United States. We cut taxes for small businesses, made new loans to more than 1,000 small businesses in Ohio so they could grow and hire more workers. We extended unemployment benefits for 12 million Americans, including Charlie and nearly 570,000 Ohio citizens. Across America, we've saved the jobs of tens of thousands of state and local workers, including teachers and first responders right here in Ohio. Don't take my word for it. Ask folks here in Ohio what they would have done if we hadn't passed the Recovery Act. The cuts they would have had to make, the taxes they would have had to raise. We're rebuilding America's infrastructure, including improvements to I-75 in Hamilton County, led by a local Cincinnati contractor. We've got more than 200 other highway projects across Ohio. We're making a historic commitment to innovation. Much of it still to come in the months and years ahead. Doubling our capacity to generate renewable energy, building a new smart grid to carry electricity from coast to coast, laying down broadband lines, high-speed rail lines, providing the largest boost in basic research in our history, all of which will put people back to work. Steel workers, plumbers, pipe fitters, engineers, you name it. So our recovery plan is working. Bricklayers too. The financial system has been saved from collapse. Home sales are up. We're seeing signs of life in the auto industry. Investment is starting to stabilize. For the first time in 18 months, we're seeing growth in manufacturing. When was the last time you heard that? On Friday, we learned that the economy lost another 216,000 jobs in August. And whenever Americans are losing jobs, that's simply unacceptable. But for the second straight month, we lost fewer jobs than the month before, and it was the fewest jobs that we had lost in a year. So, make no mistake, we're moving in the right direction. We're on the road to recovery, Ohio. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Let up. Not until workers looking for jobs can find them. Good jobs that sustain families and sustain dreams. Not until responsible mortgage owners can stay in their homes. Not until we've got a full economic recovery and all Americans have their shot at the American dream.
the union.
Now, we can't do that if we go back to that old economy. Over-leveraged banks, inflated profits, maxed out credit cards, CEOs and bankers getting multi-million-dollar bonuses. An economy of bubbles and bursts, your wages and income stagnant, while corporate profits soar. So even as we recover from the recession and work to cut the deficit, we have to build a new foundation for prosperity. We need an America with a reformed financial system. We got to have regulations in place that protect consumers so that we never have a crisis like this again. I don't want to have to bail out any more banks.
Yeah!
We got to make sure we've got regulations in place to prevent it. An America where energy reform creates green jobs that can never be outsourced, and that finally frees America from the grip of foreign oil. An America that commits to education, because the countries that out-educate us today will out-compete us tomorrow, and the best jobs will go to the best educated. So we got to do a better job educating our sons and our daughters. And yes, I'm going to have something to say tomorrow to our children. Stay in school, work hard. That's the right message to send. We need an America that once again invests in the middle class. Which is why I've created our task force for middle-class working families, led by my outstanding Vice President, Joe Biden, to make sure that our policies always benefit you, the American worker. Today, we're taking another step. I'm naming Ron Bloom, who's right here. Raise your hand, Ron. He's right down in the front here. I'm naming Ron Bloom to lead our efforts to revitalize the sector that helped build the middle class, American manufacturing. Ron has worked with steel workers, service employees, and management to create jobs. He helped guide our auto task force, and as my new point person on manufacturing, he's going to help us craft the policies that will create the next generation of great manufacturing jobs and ensure American competitiveness in the 21st century. Oh, and by the way, just in case you were wondering, we're also going to build an America where health reform delivers more stability and security. To say about this on Wednesday night. I might have to save my voice a little bit. I get too excited. I don't want to give anything away. I want y'all to tune in. But let me just say a few things about this healthcare issue. We've been fighting for quality, affordable healthcare for every American for nearly a century, since Teddy Roosevelt. Think about that.